morning. So today, last week we were able to discuss the conditional statements. So this morning, I want to discuss concerning what the iteration what statements or what we call the loops together. Last week in the conditional statements, we were able to discuss the if statement, we were able to discuss the if else statement, the nested if, and still we were able to discuss what the switch statement. So this morning, I want to discuss the iteration statement. And before we go to the next topic, the PHP MySQL. In this topic, we're going to discuss now the what we call the while loop, the do while, the for loop, and what the for each loop now. So when we talk about the loops now, they are used to execute the same block of code again and again, as long as a certain condition is what it is true. So for example, in case now a certain condition is true, that loop will continue executing and executing as long as it is true. But unless in case now that block of code is false now, that loop terminates. Understood? In case now that block of code is what is false, the loop is supposed to do what? It's supposed to terminate. But in case now it is true, it has to continue executing. There is what we call the while loop now. For this one now, it is able to loop through a block of code as long as what the specified condition is what is true. Then there is what we call the do while. It loops through a block of code once and then repeat the loop as long as the specified condition is true. In this one now, we have to have the do, then we have what? The while. Then we have the for loop whereby it is able to loop through a block of code as long as now, or it is able to loop through a block of code a specified number of times. For this one now, we have to declare a variable. We have to have the incrementer or the increment now, and you have to specify the up to what extent. Then we have what we call the for each loop. We have what we call the for each loop now, and for this one now, it is able to loop through a block of code for each element in what? In an array. This morning, I want to start the first one, the PHP while loop, and we have said for this one now, it is able to loop through a block of code as long as what the specified condition is true. So this is the syntax here for the what? For the while loop. So we have the condition is here. This is the condition here. You're supposed to put the condition here. Then the block of code to be executed is supposed to be in between what? The curly bracket. And now you have to ensure you add that what? That statement using what? A semicolon. So you have the while first. And remember every time we said that the PHP it has to be embedded in what? In HTML. So you have to open the HTML first. Then this code here or this syntax here, you're supposed to place it in between what? The body tags. So we have the while. This is the condition here. If it's false now, that loop is terminated. For example, we can have this example here. We have declared our variable x to be 1. This is our variable x to be what? To be 1. Then we have said that loop is supposed to repeat itself until or up to what extent where x is what? Less than 5. Together, this is the condition here. This is what the condition. Our variable x is equals to 1. It's supposed to loop until where x is what? Less than 5 or equal to 5. So 5 is inclusive because we have this what? Less than or equal to 5. Then we have to print what? That value. You want to print what? The values. Then we have this part here. They're supposed to do what? The increment. This is what the increment. We have what? X plus 1 until x is what? Less than or equal to 5. Yeah, let me just open a text editor. Yeah, I hope you are able to understand up to that point. Yeah, let me just open a text editor. Yeah, that program. I hope John is able to understand up at that point. Together. John, any question at that point? Let me open the text editor, we come up with that program. So we said you have to embed the PHP, you have to embed the PHP in HTML. Our variable x is equals to 1. Then you have to edit the semicolon. Then we have the condition. This is a condition while. We have the condition is here while $x is less than or equal to 5. That is what? That is our condition. Then if the block of code to be executed, and instead for this one, it's supposed to be in between the curly bracket. I have to open my curly bracket here. Open the curly bracket. Yeah, this is our program now. This is our what? This is our first program using what? The while loop now. So let me just explain once more. We have to create here a variable x. You have to create what? A variable x. Then we have said that this value or this variable is supposed to loop until where x is what? Less than or equal to 5 together. So now you're supposed to print using this part here. This is why we are printing the information. Then for this one is what called the increment. Together, it increases the loop counter for the value of 1 for each iteration. Increases the loop counter for the value of 1 for each word iteration. So let us run the program with the output. Let us run the program. And let us run the program. So let me share the screen. Yeah, this is the output now. Together, can you see now we have we have what? We have initialized the loop. We have initialized the loop now. Still, we have what? This is continuing to execute as long as what the condition is true now. We have increment the value from where x is equals to 1 up to x is what is equals to or less than 5. In the case now in our program now, we had not included the equal sign. In case we had not included the equal sign, that loop was supposed to iterate until the number is equals to 4. Together, until the number is equals to what? Is equals to 4. Yeah. In the question. We understood that the first one, the while loop. You can see it is typing. Let me just repeat it for the sake of victories. So let me just repeat now. We have said now what now. The first thing is supposed to do is supposed to create, like in our program here, we create our variable $x is equals. So that we have the first, then we have what the block of code to be executed. The block of code to be executed is supposed to be between what the curly bracket. So we have the condition first, then we have what? The block of code to be executed, So we have declared that x is equal to 1. Then you have said that this loop is supposed to iterate, or is supposed to continue looping as long as what? The value of x is less than or equal to 5. It's supposed to continue looping or iterating until the value of x is less than or equal to 5. Because we're having this together, we're having this here. Then we have used what? $x is equal to what? This is an increment. Here together, $x plus this is what? An increment. Now it's supposed to increase the loop counter for the value of 1 for each iteration. So once you run this program now, it's supposed to have this output. Once you run it, you have this output. Yeah, this is output now. I will be testing now. You're okay now. Yeah, okay. Any other question? So can I proceed? Let me just proceed now to the next loop. Let me just proceed to the next loop. Still, you can come up with another program. Come up with another program using loop. But even now, here we had 10. We can have this 55. Yeah. So to run this program now, you have realized now we are not using what the equal sign. We want to see the output. Let's run this program. Yeah, I hope you're able to see the output now of this program. So you realize now that our first value is supposed to be what? It's supposed to be number 10. And our last value is supposed to be what? 50, 54. The reason you have 54, you have not used what? The equal sign together. Yeah, that is okay now. Maybe we can proceed to the next loop. And the next loop is what we call the do while. Now, for this one now, it is able to loop through a block of code once, and then it is able to repeat the loop as long as the specified condition is what it is true. It is able to loop through a block of code once, and then repeat the loop as long as the specified condition it is what it is true. But in the case now the condition is false, that loop terminates itself. So we can have the syntax is here. That we have the syntax is here. You can realize now it's a bit different. It's a bit what different from the what? From the or root now. Because what you're having here, you're supposed to have to faster together. Supposed to have what? Then the code or the block of code basically depends between what? The do while and what the while loop. The while the condition comes first. But for the do while, the condition comes what comes last. Together. You can have this program here. You can have a simple program here whereby the same program we will have the same output. We have declared $x is equals to what? Is equals to 1. Then the block of code to be executed. Then you have what the code there. The condition is here. So let us come up with this program. I hope you're able to follow. Any question at that point? So yeah, I hope you're together. Congo, any question? Beatrice, I hope you're following. Yeah, so let us run this program now. Still have the same you'll have the same what? The same output. Let's run the program. our x is equals to, us have this time x is equals to 5, then we have do. Here we have what? We have do. That is the program now. You have realized you have just alternated together. From here, the condition was here, it is here now. Then here you have what? We have do. And this is our program now. That's the output. That's the output of the program. And if you are remembering that this PHP is supposed to be embedded in the HTML. In case you just run it, it won't run. So you have to embed it. You have to embed it in what? In HTML. So let us run the program. It is here. This is here. Our first value is supposed to be what? It's supposed to be number 5, because you have said x is equals to what? X is equals to 5. Then it's supposed to loop until where x is what? It's less than what? Less than 20. So 20 is not inclusive. So this is the output. I'll be able to see the programming is very, very easy. So Musabi, can you say it's very, very easy? Very, very easy programming. You see, in programming, you have to have the passion in it, and you have to practice. But remember these things now. You have to repeat them day in, day out. I think until you have them in your fingertips. Yeah, very, very simple. Any question on the do while? Any question in the do while? Have you understood? Yeah, let me just repeat for the sake of Kakongo. Yeah, let me just repeat. No, Kakongo, we said, what happens to the do while now? First of all, you have to declare the variable. You have to declare whatever the variable. You have what? The right is equals to 5. Then you're supposed to have first the block of code to be executed is here. Together, you have first what? The block of code to be executed. Then the condition comes last is here. This is the condition. Together, this is the condition. Because what happened with the previous one, the while loop, you were having the condition first. Then the block of code to be executed. That together. Because for example, let me just repeat. For the while, we were having this, the while loop. That was the while loop. Right together, you realize here the condition was coming first. Then the block of code to be executed. But now in the do while, we have what? The block of code to be executed first. We have the do. First we execute. Then later we do what? We check the condition. We do what? We check the condition. That is the main difference between the do while and the while loop. I hope now it is okay now. It is okay. Is it okay? Yeah, that is okay. So we can proceed. Let's proceed. The next one is what you call, we have the for loop. Together we have what? The for loop. And for this one now, it's supposed to loop through a block of code for a specified number of times. So for this one now, you have to declare a variable. For example, $x is equals to 5. Then you have to specify the number of times together, or what you call the increment counter. And still, you have to add what? The increment. So this is the syntax is here. You have what? The for. You have the for. Then you have what? The counter is here. Together you declare the variable x is equals to 5. Then you have what? Test what? You have the test counter. For the text counter, you can have what? Dollar x is equals to, maybe the x is equals to, or is supposed to be equal to 10, or less than what? Or less than 10. Then you have what? The increment counter, x plus plus. I think that this is what the syntax is here. So you have what? The counter, it initiates the loop counter value. I have said x is equals to 10, or x is equals to 10. Then you have what? The test counter. Put together. For this one, you can have dollar $x is less than or equal to 15. Then you have what? The increment counter. For example, you can have dollar $x plus plus. It increases the counter value. You can have this example. You can have a simple example here. Look at this example here. We are having what we call, this is our for loop is here. Then we have what? The initiate what counter. This is what we call the initiate counter. Right is equals to 0. Then we have the test counter. This loop is supposed to repeat for a specified number of times until where x is equals to or less than 10. Together, this is what we call the increment counter. Then we have the block of code to be executed. Then the explanation is, then maybe you can let the program now. Let me just let the program. Let the program is here. So even from the notes now, I've also given you the explanation. Yeah, so let us run the program. We see the output. It is here. Yeah, so we have the initiate counter. We have declared the variable is here. Then you have this is the test counter. It's supposed to loop until where x is equals to or less than 10. Then we have what? The increment counter. Now it is here. This is the output of the program. You can see now the values are being repeated. Or the loop now is continuing to execute until the number is equal to 10 together. The value of x is less than or equal to 10. In the first way, it's supposed to be 2 together because we said x is equal to what? Is equals to 2. Yeah. Any question? Any question on that? Any question or clarification? Yeah, Bernard, any question? Gakongo, John, and Soy and Matthew before I proceed, because now I want to start there. That was the part which was remaining for the roots. Because I want to start with the PHP MySQL, a very, very essential topic, PHP MySQL. Because now, for this topic now, for the PHP MySQL, it will be based on what you're supposed to develop together or use it to come up with the system together, especially the connection with the database. Yeah. So can I proceed? Can I proceed? Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. I can proceed. Now, this is a new topic now. In this topic now, I think you covered the MySQL. I believe you have covered SQL database somewhere. Have you covered? I think you have covered the SQL. I think the course now in this topic now will be integrating the concept of SQL with PHP. Because what happens now in your systems, for example, you can have information in a form. I think that you're supposed to prepare a form. I think that maybe a registration form, and this information is supposed to be submitted into a certain table in the database. I believe you have covered database somewhere. So, Beatrice, have you covered the SQL somewhere? The command, the insert command, update command, select command, the where crowds, have you covered? I believe you have covered SQL, is it true? Matthew, have you covered that, Matthew? Yeah, because now this will just be a small integration. I believe we have covered that SQL somewhere. Yeah, so what happens now with MySQL now? This is what we call a relational database for management system that is able to learn a server together. Because what happens now, we can have one database now which is having what several tables. So in this topic now, you're supposed to know how you create a connection. How do you create a connection with the database now? Because now there is no way you can insert information in the database unless you have a connection. You must be having what? You must be having a connection. Then still, once you have the connection now, you must be knowing how do you push this information from the form to the database. So in this topic now, still, you have to remember the concept of HTML. Because we start from HTML together. For example, you can have a form here. You can have what? A form? A form. This form now, once we put some information, it is supposed to be submitted. That is, or that information is supposed to be picked by a PHP file. There would be a PHP file. Then that information, once the PHP file is able to pick that information, it is able to compare the values. That is the during post. Then that information it is submitted into the database. Now, this is how you come up with the connection. This is how you come up with the what? Connection. This is how you come up with the what? With the connection together. Yeah, because now before you access the database now, you must create what? A connection in the database. This is the connection. Together. This is a what? This is a connection. So you have what? Dollar con. This is a dollar sign. This is a what? A dollar sign. Con means what? Connection right together. So for this part here, you can use MySQLi or MySQL. Because what is happening now is you come up with a system nowadays. We don't use MySQL. Together it has been depreciated. Nowadays we're using what? MySQLi or what? The PDU. So we have dollar connection or a dollar con for the connection is equals to MySQL connect. So you're having the local host here. Then this is the what? The username. Together, this is the username here. Peter is the what? The username. Then ABC123 is what? The password of that what? Of that database. And together, we have it here. So we have the connection is equals to MySQL connect. Then we have this is the root. Then you have what? Localhost is the path, the root. Then you have the username. Then you have what? The password. So once we create that connection, in case we don't connect, or in case now we don't access that database now, we have this error here. We have what? This error. Could not connect. This is the connection. Understood? Have you understood? about the rest? Have you understood how you open a connection, how you create a connection, or how you connect the database? Yeah, Matthew, it is okay. What about John and Gakongo? Have you understood how you can create a connection to the database? Because we'll be having a lot of practicals in this topic. After this month, we'll be having a lot of practicals in this topic. Because it will help you in your systems. Let me just repeat for the sake of story. So you have said, this is the PHP code to create what? A connection. Because you have to create a connection, then you close it. So we must have this dollar sign. Con means what? Connection is equals to MySQL connect. We want to connect to a certain database. For example, maybe in our XAMPP server, in our WAMP server, we can be having database what? Database school. Localhost here is the root. Together is what? The root or the path. Together to that what? To that server or to that what? To that database. Peter here is the what? The username. Together, Peter is the what? The username. Then you can have still ABC can be a what? You can either have the database or what? You can either have the password. So let me just you can have this. Let me just show you. Let me just show you. It is here. And together we have it here. I hope now it is a bit clear. It's a bit clear now. It's a bit clear. That is here. Together, this is how you come up with a what? With a connection. Still, you're supposed to close that connection. Together, you're supposed to do what? To close that connection. So what will happen now here? In case we don't get the database here, you're supposed to have what? An error. Could not connect. In case now it has connected now, the information is posted into the database. So let me just show you a code on how we're able to do what? We're able to close the connection. I will do this practically. Don't worry, we'll have some practicals on this. We'll have good practicals on this. So this is how you close the connection. Together, every time you have to, once you create the connection, you have to close it. Together is here. Can you see now we are closing what? MySQL underscore close it. We are closing what? This con. We are closing this con here. Is here. This con or the connection. This one here. Together is here. We are closing this one at this point. Together, you must close the connection. You have to do what? You have to close the connection. Any question? And you can write it as a continuous what? Is a continuous name. Not name, it's a continuous what? Code. In you are asking that username, is it the file name? No. No, for example, you can do this. You can have a your database together. You can have the username and the password together. The username and the password together. For example, maybe you can have a username, Peter, and the password of that database is what? ABC12. That is what the password. Then we can have the database at this point together. We can have database name at this point together. We can add what? We can add a database name at this point. Let me just do that. Let me just show you. We have different versions of MySQL. Just show you. Let me just copy the entire code. So let me add database name at this point. I hope it is able to see that because I can have what database name at that point. I hope now it is okay between. We can have what database name to be school. Understood? Yeah, let me share the screen once more. Yeah, it is here now. I hope now it is a blank. I want to share the code. There's something I want to explain here. Now it is here. I have made some changes to the code. What is happening here? Here we have the root together or the path. This is what we call what the path together. And here we had what? For example, you can have the maybe like Peter together. Then here we have the password. This is what the password is here. And have what the password. Then you can have what database name is here. What database name? You have the root, the path. Then you have what the username is here. And every time you just leave it as blank. Just leave it blank. You didn't want the double quote. Together, just don't write anything. Because once you write anything now, for you to access the information in your database now, you have to know the password. So every time, just leave it in that at that point. Understood? Any question? Any question on that? This is how you come up with the connection and you close it. And see what is typing and ask some questions. Yes, correct, John. Anything you add between between the double quotes here becomes to the password. It's correct. Anything you add, for example, in case you have John, that is the password. That is the password. The password now. Yeah. So can I proceed? Can I proceed? Can I proceed? Yeah. Otieno, ask a question. Otieno, feel free to ask. Ask a question, Otieno. Oh, Otieno, don't worry. I will share the code together. If I use, I will share the codes together. Otieno, I will share them. You can learn them later together. I will give you. That is okay. That is it. So now the next part now is supposed to discuss now how do you create a database now using what? Using the PHP. Because normally most of you just go to the XAMPP. Is it true? Just go to the XAMPP, then you have PHP admin, then you create the database manually. I believe that is what most of you do. Is it true? But now you're supposed to come up with you write the PHP code now of creating a database here. You realize here still we are having a connection together. We want to create a database by the name school right together. Then we are having what our connection is here once more. This is our connection. Then we have this code here. If MySQL code is correct now, we create database what? Here my database here. You can have what? Database school. Together, you can have what? Database school. So you press here, my database is what? The name of the database you want. Together, then it is created. Together, that is what it is created. Together. In case now we have an existing database having the same name, we have what? An error together. We have what? An error. Then you have to close the connection together. You have to close the connection. So let me just show you. Let us have this code here. Let us have this code. Let's come up with the database here. Let's see now. Let us create the now about here. Create what database what? Someone can provide the database name. Someone to give us the database name. We create one. Someone to provide database name. Can provide a name. Someone to provide database name. Yeah, someone who provide any name of the database. For example, in case you're coming, like now you're coming up with a system. Just provide the name. We come up with it. Then you can have parking. So here, what we'll have parking here. Together, we'll have what? Parking. We'll have parking is here. So we want to create what? Database parking. Then once you do now, you go to your browser together, you go to your browser, then you run that page together. You run what? That page. You get back to your browser here. Get back to your browser. This is our page here. It's supposed to be test. This is what is happening here. Look at this one now. I want to show you the output now here. Look at the output now. Just the output here. We are having what? The access is denied. Why? You're having a password. You're supposed to remove the password. Notice here the password here. And the password is supposed to be what? Having the password is supposed to be here. So we have to remove it. Understood? And this is the effect of the password. Yeah, able to see the effect of the password. So you have to remove what? The password. You just remove it. Yeah, I have removed it. And I just reload. Can you see? Database what created is here now. It has been created. It has been what? It has been created. I have run the page. It's created. So let us open. Let us confirm whether it is there. Let's confirm. Let us confirm here. We're able to see that. Let us confirm parking that has been created. It This is the database here. It is here parking. Let us see. It is here. Can you see it is here? Parking is here. It is here parking, but we do not have any tables. It is here. Database is here. You'll be able to see that, but you do not have any tables in that database. Understood? But for your systems now, you can just go to MySQL to PHP admin and you create the database manually. But for the sake of the exam, you have to write what the PHP code. Understood? 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 Ibrahim Ogeba. Ibrahim, good morning. Any question after that point? Any question? Kakongo, any question? Yeah, that is good now. What if now you are requested to create, in case you are requested to come up with the tables within the database now, you have to get back to your code. Together, you have to what? You have to get back to your code to come up with the what? With some tables here. Let me just show you how you come up with the what? With the tables, using the tables, using the PHP code. But for the sake of your project, just create something different together for the sake of your project on how you can come up with the what with the tables manual together. I will show you a different perspective together how you can come up with the what with the tables manual together. But for the sake of the exam, you have to use all this code. But for the project, I will do something. I will just do something. The PHP code now to come up with a table. We have created the database at this point. Now let us come up with a what with a table together. So is here. Create. We have create table what? Table password together. For example, now what you have to do now, remember in our server, we are having what? Different databases. So together we are having different databases. So what you're supposed to do now, you're supposed to select our database. Now we have created database what packing. Then so here you have what? MySQL underscore select underscore database. Then here you have packing. You have what? We have packing. Then we can create table, maybe table cars together. We can create table cars here. Then we can have what? Maybe the name of the car supposed to be what? Our character. The reason we are saying is our character now, it contains it can have this. We just cause our connection. So let me just illustrate now on how we can create tables using what? The PHP. Let me just illustrate here. So you have to pick the same code. Let me just pick this one. This one is enough. So just pick the same code. And just place it here. Have it here now. We have that this packing is already there. Then you have what? For example, the person who gave us the database, the packing, maybe she can give us the tables. Beatrice, just give us the tables. Just give us the tables in the database here packing. Just give us 2 tables, or just give us 1 table. Just give us 1 table. Yeah, we can have parking details now. Parking details. We can have parking. So we have this part here. We select our database here. That is parking. Then we have parking details. Parking underscore details. Remember, the reason I've used an underscore here, it is what key sensitive. So you can have what maybe parking details. Maybe you can have what maybe can have the first column. You can have maybe car, or maybe suppose be a character. Then you can have car type. Have car type. Then you can have the amount. It could be an integer. You can have an int. You can have maybe 24. In field, you can have the car type, the amount. You can have let me see another column. You can have the parking details. Maybe parking route. You can have or slot. Parking what? Parking slot. Even if for the integer here, even if you don't use this value here to still work together for the integer, you don't have to specify the limit together. You don't have to do what? Specify the limit. So we have this code here together. So what we'll have to do now, we have to learn this code. So what will happen now, we have to create a table here. This is a comment. This is what this is a call. It's a comment. We have to select now from our server. Do we have database parking? If we have it now, we can create what? We can create table parking details. That table will have what? The following columns. We have the first one is the car type, amount paid, and parking slot together. So we have to get back to our browser here. We have to run the program. Any question before I proceed? Any question? Any question before I proceed? Because I want to run the browser on the browser. Yeah, still we can have duration. There's duration. Any question before I run? Any question before I proceed? Any question? I want to proceed. Any question? You can ask a question from the code. Yeah, so let me run the program. So this was the previous code here on the same page. The previous code on the same page. So what I have to do now, I have to reload the page. Let me just reload the page with the effect. Let me just reload the page. Can you see what is happening here? Look at the error. Look at this error here. Just confirm the error here. Error creating what database? Can't create database dot parking. Database dot exist. What together? It is existing. So what we can do now, we can add parking one. We can do what? We can add parking one here. Because now there's no way we can create another database, yet we have what? The same what? The same database together. Yeah. What we can do, let me just add parking one from the code. Let me just add what? Parking one. So I have added one to the code. Let us load the page. We create a new database here in a new table, the same type. And this is what is happening here. Database created, and even the tables have been created. That's reload our server here. That's reload it. We have parking one is here. Parking one. Parking one is here. Let us see whether you have the tables. Oh, we have to reload because of it has not created the tables. Let me see the problem. It was supposed to create the tables. Let me just confirm. Let me check the reason because now we are having no tables here. But let me check from the code. I want to verify why we do not have that. Just confirm why we are not having the. Let me test using a different one. Let me test using a different one. Because what I want now, I want to create a new database now, even the tables together. Because now this is the code supposed to be picking. This is the code here for coming up with the table. Then what database what packing for. Let me see. Let me reload it. It is not creating the tables. Let me just confirm, but we do not have any error. What you can do now, let me introduce an error to the program. I see whether it's okay. Let me just add an error here. Let me just move that comma. I see whether it will detect it together. Yeah, what is happening now? My PHP version or my is not being selected because now, in case now it does not select this information, there is no way you can create what the table. It has to select the information. Code is everything is correct here together. I'll confirm the version. In the table. Is correct. I confirm the version why it is not coming at table. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Any question on the code? Yeah. Because now we have to create the table manually, but the code is correct. This is how you come up with a what? With a table. So in case in an exam scenario, you're requested to write a PHP code to come up with a table. It is here. This is the PHP code with a what? With a table. It is here. And this is 5 marks. That is what? Around 5 marks. Any question? Now, like you're coming up with your project. Do you know how to come up with a table manually? Do you know how to come up with them manually in the exam server? Do you know how to come up with them manually? Can you come up with the tables manually? Yeah, that is okay. Yeah, that is okay because for the sake of your prof, let me just demonstrate for Bogwa. Let me just demonstrate. Yeah, what you're supposed to do, Bogwa, is supposed to come to this point here. For example, you're having our what? You're having what? The base what parking one. Let me just select parking 5. Then can we do not have what any day? For example, can you click what table parking details? Then you can specify the number of columns, 4 or 5. Then you click what? You click go what together. Then here you can specify. Can you see now we are having the same integer that was in the code and the range. You can have what? Me, for example, you can have the ID, the first one. Then for this one, it's supposed to be what? You have auto increment. Then you can have the car name or the car. Then it's supposed to be what? Character or text. Then you can specify the values. Then you can have you on here. And have I hope we'll go able to start now on how you can create it for example. But for the sake of an exam, you have to write that PHP code I've illustrated. John, I hope we are together now. The question. Oh, Kakuma can see have a question that how do you initiate a test.php docs? So let me just share the screen Kakungo on how you do. Let me just share the entire screen. Let me just share the entire screen. Yeah, because what you have to do, for example, let me just open. Let me just share everything. Yeah, what you have to do now, you have to go to your XAMPP. Particularly, you just go to the XAMPP. It is XAMPP, then HTTP. Then yeah, you can create a file. Right? You can just create what a folder. A folder. For example, let us have maybe folder system. Right? Maybe system. You want to come up with a system. Right? So even all the code here is supposed to be inside that folder here. The system is here. Together. So just go to a folder here. Just go to the system. Then take what .php or type and I save it. Together. Yeah. What is happening now? In case you're able to see that. Are you able to see it, Kakumu? let me just, so I'm saying what you have to do now, just check very well. You have to create a folder at the local disk C now. You have to create a folder here at htdocs together. For example, we have this folder I've created here for the system. And get that here. This value. So in case you want to save it once more, let me first delete it here. I've deleted. I want to save it once more. I just go this here. Let me first restore the file. Let me first restore the file. The file is here. So just go to file, just go to save as. Then I select the folder here. Just select the folder. Suppose be system. Then you have test.what.php. The extension must be .php. Then you have what auto types. Then you click what you click. Save. In case I get back to my folder here. In case I get back to the folder here. System. It is here inside. I think that is there inside. Yeah, I know it is okay now. Kakumu. Yeah, and that is enough for today. I think that any other question? Yeah, and that is enough for today. I will share. Already I've shared this document. I think that you have it on the ZDF. I'll also share the notes for the word for the room. So any other question? How was the class today? How was it? What was the class today? How was the class today? How was it today? Yeah. I'll leave an assignment or a discussion is supposed to work on it. Yeah. I'll also post your assignment one today. It's supposed to be out of 10 marks. Okay, but there's an assignment. You're supposed to have assignment 1 out of 10 marks together. Remember, you did your cut one together. I want to give you assignment 1 to be out of 10 marks. Yeah, supposed to be out of 10 marks. Yeah, in the case of no other question, maybe you can close the class. Yes, have a good day.